In this video, we'll talk about working with the biological ancestors, and by the end of the video, you'll know what are biological, couldn't say that there, what's biological ancestors and how do they relate to us spiritually? What are some of the benefits of working with our biological ancestors? How can we connect with our biological ancestors, and what is the best way to work with our biological ancestors? That's easier said than done, isn't it? I'm Varney, spiritual teacher, author, podcaster. Forgot what was there. So I did. So let's get on with how working with the biological ancestors. Please like and subscribe. It really does help. So have you ever thought about your ancestors? A lot of people don't even think about this. They don't even think or about what they did, what they believed in, what kind of effects their beliefs might have on you, because they do, I believe. So let's explore the idea of working with your biological ancestors and how their beliefs might influence you. Because all around the world, people connect with their ancestors in spiritual ways. I mean, I've been to many spiritual places within the world, Kathmandu, Nepal, in the mountains and monasteries and outbacks of in sweat lodges and Peruvian, with the shamans and the jungles and what have you, and those nice Inca cities and what have you. There's so many others. And they all have spiritual practices towards their ancestors, very deep spiritual practices towards some of the deities and what have you, and all different things of those biological ancestors that really do offer. That's not uncommon for families in some cultures anyway to have a family shrine or and offer prayers of food or money, even in Vietnam, when you're in the shops, most of the shops outside the shop would have these shrines, that they would put money to the shrine. It was play money, and they would sell packs of this play money as they would put it to the shrines to bring in more money. It was very and food and jewelry, lots of things, cigarettes, tobacco, for in the ancestors and the shamanic. It's tobacco that's a really prayer that you're offering to the ancestors and the shamanic world, so many other things. Or some people just might like candles or make offerings at special times of the year, like the salmon and what have you, because working with our biological ancestors can be a really powerful way to connect to our spirit with our spiritual roots and deepen our understanding of ourselves. And if you're interested in working with the biological ancestors, I will get that right. Yeah. The first step is to learn as much as you can about them. That might include finding out who they were, what they did, where they lived. You can also research the customs and the traditions of their culture, and once you have a basic understanding of your ancestors' lives and culture, you can start honoring them in your own spiritual practice. And one way to do this is by setting an ancestor altar or shrine. You can also create a personal ceremony or ritual to commemorate them, because really when we work with our ancestors, we're tapping into powerful energy that can help us in our lives. By working with our biological ancestors, we can receive guidance and support from them, and they can help us to connect with the spirit world. In order to work with our biological ancestors, we don't need to know their names. You don't need to know them. Yeah, it's good if you do, but you don't need to know. And we should honour them really by speaking, if we do know their names, aloud. We can also ask them to help us in specific ways, such as providing guidance or support in our lives, or helping us manifest something. Because when we work with our ancestors in this way, we are opening ourselves up to receiving their blessings and energies, you know. And it's really, they really are that powerful. But how do they relate to us spiritually? You know, you can have your primordial ancestors. Can't even say that there. Look at me, more tongue in cheek. So I am the day. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold. So yeah, so the how to connect spiritually is always go into your heart space. You know, that way you know you're connecting correctly when you're going into the heart space. When you try to connect from the head, you know, it can be a bit skewed. So always make sure that you connect into the ancestors from the heart first. And once you have that powerful practice of connecting to the heart and connecting to the ancestors, it should come with ease. You know, I know myself, I can really connect to the ancestors just by thinking of them, you know, and they're there, you know, because they're all around us. And the benefits of working with the ancestors, one, your light shines brighter, you become more powerful, you manifest at a higher level, you can really release those you know, those contracts, those vows, those curses, that implants, you know, the all those kind of things that people talk about in the spiritual realm. But also you can get a bird's eye view of what's going on in your future, what ways that you can actually, what path is it best for you to take when you work with the biological answers, because they can show you how you know, well, what if we go down this path? What's going to happen there? And they can show you a way of what is actually going to happen. You know, especially if you've got a choice there. And when we're connecting to those ancestors, ask them to show you signs, you know, ask them to, in your everyday life, just ask them to give me a sign that you're about. What's a sign that I'll know you're there? Sometimes what I get is I get a vibrational buzz in my ear. It's the only way I can describe it, you know. There's this like a vibrational buzz, or if it's the biological ancestors, sometimes a memory will pop into my head, if it's from my mum or great granny or what have you. You know, even friends can be your those biological ancestors as well, because they're part of your soul cluster. Yeah. And those memories will come in, or a smell, you know. Sometimes, because my mum was a smoker, she really smoked and drank, you know. She had a even though she had a lone life, she was the life and soul of the party, so she was. So sometimes I'll smell, you know, I can have that essence of the smell of smoke, and I know she's around then, you know. So ask to look for the signs of when they're around you. You know, what's the signs? Especially when they're connecting to you. And also ask the biological ancestors, what's the best way to work with them? Because each one of them will have a different way of working or a different way of connecting. And remember that you can actually connect to different types of biological ancestors. You know, it doesn't have to all be, you know, from mum's side down the lineage or dad's side. It can be an accumulation of both that you're working with. And if you're finding it difficult to work with the ancestors, remember, come over to the Spiritual Abundance, the Spiritual Awakening Academy, where we will really help you connect at a really deep, powerful level with the biological and other ancestors, and so many other things, you know, so many other you know, your angels, your shamanic guides, because we go through helping and showing you how to connect at different ways, especially if you find it difficult to connect, or even if you're really far on your journey, you know, you've connected really powerfully. we can connect you, show you how to connect in different ways with that. And also, we show you ancient that I've learnt that from my peers and practices when I've been traveling around the world, spending over 350,000 plus pounds over the years of learning and healing, mainly healing, because I was in a children's home and I had a lot of things, and the ancestors really helped me and my spirit team helped me with all that. They really did. And we also look at the manifestation, because really you don't want to be keeping focusing on what you need to heal. You want to focus on what you want to manifest, what you want in your life, what you're here for, what's your power, what's your purpose, your passion, because you really want to know what's going on there. Yeah, we show all that. We delve into all that at the Spiritual Awakening Academy. And as you can see, the links on this video and also it's down below, or go over to varney.com and you'll see it there, more about it there, or the link below this video is also. I'm Anne Varney, spiritual teacher and author, podcaster. Speak to you later. Bye-bye.